Okay, this is the fueling paradigm. Section 3, what is steering? So we kind of intrinsically know what steering is as parents. It's the first thing we think of when we're thinking about our kids and what we want to do to help them grow. It's the whole model of thinking about rewards or consequences, incentive strategies to help them make good choices, to help them go farther with their learning in school, to incentivize them to take on a sport, take on a musical instrument. Steering is also something as simple as having a conversation where we have an agenda, where we want them to learn something or understand how another person is feeling, or get our point of view about why it's important to act a certain way or to think a certain way. All of those things are not the same as just hanging out in an agenda-free situation, enjoying each other's company, right? Steering is something quite different. Steering is something that we think about constantly when we're trying to grow our teen. And it's a tool, but at this age, we understand now that there's some problems when we oversteer.
Yeah. As an adolescent and young adult seek to sort of explore the world and become more themselves, they become quite allergic to attempts at steering them in particular directions. And we will see the warning signs of our oversteering by seeing in our kid certain telltale signs that this may be occurring. Some of those signs are constant monosyllabic responses. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. No. Pretty common. If this is happening a lot, probably an oversteering issue. Other signs are constant power struggles with our kids. We have an agenda, they have a different agenda, and we just need to get them to our agenda. This is like two people grabbing the steering wheel, and that doesn't lead anywhere good. Other issues that we might see: lying and evasiveness, conflict and yelling. Conflict is a necessary part of all healthy relationships, but if it becomes chronic, it becomes toxic. And we're going to show you all sorts of tools about how to manage and navigate and engage in conflict in a way that promotes healthy skills for your kid as they move towards young adulthood. But if it's a chronic conflict and yelling in the house with your kid, this is a sign of oversteering. Also, the resigned conformity. If more of your requests than not end with your kid just kind of with their head down, saying, sure, okay, yeah, just get off my back, I'll do it, okay? That's a sign of oversteering as well. And we're going to want to watch out for these warning signs, because if we are oversteering and it's not addressed and we don't learn how to really steer well while fueling more, then there are going to be some problems down the road.
So what are those outcomes of oversteering? We've got to look back at the initial goal here. We are trying to grow an adult. In order to grow an adult, they need the practice, developing the skills to manage their own internal states, to self-regulate, and also navigate the external world in an adult-like way. They need that practice again and again and again. They need to face those challenges, sometimes succeed, sometimes fail, and learn from those mistakes and grow because of it. When we're oversteering, we are doing that process for them. We are taking that practice away from them. So we are not actually creating the conditions where we're growing an adult. We're doing something quite the opposite. We're taking these years that are chaotic and conflictual, and we're actually perpetuating them. We're perpetuating adolescence instead of growing an adult.
Yeah. And if we do this, if we take away those opportunities for our adolescent or young adult to really learn how to navigate and orient to themselves and to the challenge and figure out how to do it so that they get the outcomes that are their own hard-won results, they're going to lack the confidence in meeting challenges on their own down the road. And then they're going to find themselves maybe in college, maybe in a job, just terrified because they've been steered and oversteered by somebody external to them that they actually don't know how to meet and navigate those challenges towards a successful outcome. And without those experiences in adolescence, they lack the confidence and they basically get maybe arrogant or collapsed. And either way, we're not doing them a service there. Also, if we are oversteering and chronically oversteering and we don't learn how to fuel and we don't learn how to steer well, masterfully, then our kids will likely ingrain a sense of distrust towards authority figures and people in positions of power because they've experienced us as parents as being coercive and manipulative despite our best intents. That is going to inhibit their ability to reach out for help down the road, to seek mentorship, to disclose challenges that they're having to people who could be helpful for them. And that's a huge disservice to their well-being and ultimate success down the road.
We need to get a little further into the theory. The practice will come later in the future courses. But the theory here is not that you've got to stop steering, right? The theory here is not that that tool is a disaster. It's that that tool is limited. It needs to be refined. We need to steer less. So the theory is going to help us to distill when are those times that we should be steering, when is it appropriate? And I'll give you two right now. When our kiddo is in a situation where it's not safe, where they're making dangerous choices, we need to jump in there with our parental responsibility and make sure that they're okay, right? Dangerous situations, situations that threaten safety, there we definitely need to get in there and use that steering tool in a refined, masterful way. The practice and the techniques for doing that we will cover down the road. But the idea here is not that we can't steer. We just have to figure out how to do that when there's certain situations that are dangerous. And this isn't just the worry about danger. This is where we'll distill and refine this tool as we get into those future courses. It's not just our own worry, but it's actually being able to distill when are the situations truly dangerous. Second, stability issues. If our kiddo is in a situation where they are spiraling downward because of bad choices, bad decisions, to a place that's going to inevitably lead to a crisis, again, we need to step in. And again, it's going to be challenging because our worry about what might happen, where this spiral might lead, is always far greater than the actual dangerous situations where we'll need to jump in there and steer. So we'll get into the subtleties of that kind of tension and how to actually navigate them as we help you to refine your steering tool and also get some more in your toolkit as we get into those courses.
So, as you can see, there's a lot to learn here. If we're going to become masterful parents at not just raising our kid, but actually growing a successful adult, we've got a lot to learn. Our comprehensive learning system involves 3 pillars. It's going to be about understanding your kid, growing yourself, and nurturing the relationship. So if you can understand what is developmentally appropriate, and you can discern between okay, what's actually dangerous and what are the sort of necessary, kind of chaotic situations that I need to kind of allow for my kid to develop those thinking processes and the neuronal development, the maturity, so that they can have the confidence to step out the door knowing how to handle life's challenges, you'll be a lot better off. Growing yourself, you're going to need to sit with your own anxiety and your own worry because these situations are anxiety-provoking. It's hard to let our kids go out into the world. We care for them. We want the best for them, and they make mistakes. We need to be the wise, compassionate adult who learns how to accept the chaos and really target those moments of genuine destabilization or safety issues and become masterful steerers in those moments, targeted and precise so that we're not oversteering. And then that's going to be huge in nurturing the relationship so that as your relationship develops with your adolescent who moves into an adult, that you and your kiddo have a relationship that is stable, supportive, caring, kind, compassionate, and has a richness to it. That's the family that you want. And we have extensive tools in our comprehensive learning system to help you engage and practice and move towards those outcomes that you want for yourself, your family, and your kid. So I hope you've gotten a lot from this program. There's so much more to cover. We go into a lot of this stuff in depth. We have e-courses, worksheets, case examples, exercises, and homework, and lots of opportunities for feedback to learn, integrate, apply, and reassess, and then make new changes so that you can move towards towards those outcomes that you're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed us, and please navigate our site. There's plenty of ways to engage here, and check out our full course because it has a lot of information for you.